TFR. Truth Frequency Radio.
Good morning, TFR.
Good morning.
Hi, this is Alan. I like Ironworx because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zack. It's like sitting in your front room having a cosy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zack, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the Ironworx on TFR.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Iron Realm Media is the best on the planet. To this show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to The Ironworx with Zack, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on The Ironworx and become an Iron Scout.
It's Friday, my dudes.
I'm starting off fresh and I feel good. I look good. I smells good. I am good.
This is Michael Tyson. You probably know me better as Iron Mike, but I don't go by Iron Mike no more because I used to be a monster. I'm a different person now. I'm all about happiness. But what is happiness? I'll tell you what happiness is. Every time I listen to my favorite show, Iron Realm Media. It's a truther show on YouTube.
Thank God it's Friday.
Happy Friday, my friend.
And happy Friday to you all, TGIF. Welcome to the Ironworx right here on Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com. Good morning, gentlemen. It's been a week.
Good morning, sir. And it has been a week. It has been a week. And then a piece of more wine. Excuse me.
The hell did you just say?
Excuse me. I'm typing away. I choked, coughed, and yeah.
Well, you said something before that and didn't quite register in my brain.
I don't know. Who knows? I'm still trying to function. So, yeah. Typing, and that was probably part of it. I probably said what I was typing.
You know, one of the beautiful things about having done this show for so long is that on the off chance that a host doesn't have a car and has to catch a ride home from work and is in a hurry to make sure that his ride doesn't have to wait around on him and flies out the door and forgets his phone at work and has to get up in the morning at 3 a.m., he can do so without an alarm. Makes it real nice.
Yes, the ingrained of it all. And I'm just typing away. I saw Zach, I think, didn't I?
You know,
Dave, I remember those days.
Good.
Where getting up at 4 was no big deal because I usually got up at 3. So, yeah, I know where you're coming from, Josh.
Yeah, it's real nice.
Hi there, fellas.
Morning.
Hi there.
How you enjoying that new phone of yours?
What? I don't get it. New phone, never dropped it. Got a case. I don't know. It's just electronics do not like to be in my hands. They start freaking out. Oh well. It'll get over it. I was thinking about it. Is it because the way I treat them? I've noticed that a lot of people love their phones. To me, it's. I feel bad even saying it, but it's just a phone. It's just I don't go and get the $1,000 ones and all that kind of stuff. I go and get the $60 one, the cheapest one, because I know I'm going to break it. But is it that thought in my head of me knowing I'm going to break it and I don't care about it that makes the phone not work for me? I love my truck. I love my truck. That's my baby girl. And she works for me even when she shouldn't, it seems. I don't know. Maybe I need to love my phone a little bit more.
Just what Elon Musk wants you to do.
AXJ9 7 something like that.
Yep. Sorry. When you're a billionaire, maybe you can afford to have a walking, talking phone. That's why he names it. So.
So how was your week there, Josh? I know besides all the vehicle issues, all that. How you feel?
I had was it not yesterday, the day before, was a little painful. There's quite a bit of pain involved in that day. But I think, again, a lot of that might have even been vehicle related. Everywhere from just stress to getting a ride to stress for waiting for the ride to just the then waiting for the ride. I think might have tweaked my back a little bit and just had it all tight and tense and spazzed out. But for the most part, I'd say it's all right. Like I said, there's nothing new, I don't believe. It's just all of my other shit seems to be aggravated considerably.
Yep.
So there's that. Beyond that, everything's been copacetic, if you're excluding the vehicle stuff. Yeah, work's going all right. Just waiting on the Christmas bonus. That'll be nice. That's a paycheck extra. It's always nice to get an extra paycheck in a month.
Yeah.
Then we get some days off. That's always nice. And that should get me through through March. Fingers crossed.
Shut down a week for you guys?
I'm sorry?
Did they shut down a whole week, like Christmas to New Year's or anything like that there?
No.
So I doubted it, but yeah, we got off, I think 4 days for New Year's and Christmas. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. That was what we got off.
Yep. Then you throw in
April at least.
Thanksgiving. They might even do a half a day on Friday, or it's probably going to be a half day on Christmas Eve. Something like that. I don't know. I don't know about all that.
How's the war business doing? Business at work going all right?
Business is booming.
You could.
I mean,
business is booming.
It's interesting. The instruments that I build cost about $40,000 a pop. And I was just looking yesterday as I was finishing up the next round. Like, oh, that's cool. That's like number 70. So I'm like, dude, that's like millions of dollars. Holy shit. So you figure by the end of the year, I probably will have built close to $5 million worth of instruments. I just thought that was interesting. At $40,000 a piece. And I think this is what they say when they use the term the military industrial complex. And we say, well, you have this huge military budget. We do. And it's not like we're spending military budget means that we just are writing checks and sending them out to foreign bases. So much of our economy is based on businesses like the one that I work for that contract with the government to build sprockets B&D and screws XYZ specifically for the government according to governmental specifications. And they just do that all across the country and spend billions of dollars doing so, literally driving the economy, building things for the military. And at this point, even it's just a big constant rotation of keeping the equipment upgraded, updated, and in running working order. So you just keep it. Once your fleet gets big enough, you can just a self-perpetuating cycle that'll, drive the whole fucking economy.
$750 billion a year worth of economy.
I mean, there is, military bases, and you are, again, literally for soldiers.
Yeah, that's paying off everybody and everything. And
but that's a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah, if you thought NASA got a lot with their $20 billion a year.
Right.
750 billion. I can't even do the math on how many million. Well, geez, that's like 2 billion a day. Plus, that's on the low side.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And even if you split that down the middle, half domestically and half foreign, and we'll just, or half on the public side and half on the private side.
We definitely have the biggest stick, that's for sure.
Yeah, but we don't like to brag. When you're carrying a decent sized stick, you don't have to go around telling everybody how big your stick is all I'm saying.
Oh, they even hide how big their stick is. Well, that's Sun Tzu's Art of War, right?
Oh, or Dirk Diggler, whichever,
So how are you, sir? I know you had a rough day yesterday.
I'm good. I had an interesting day. But I'm still going, so that's all that matters. Yeah, it's just silly all the way around. But if you want to know, about 1 a.m. 2 nights ago, Lord, I don't even know how long ago this happened now because of the sleep thing. Okay, so went to get some hangers out of the closet very quietly in the night because I was trying to finish up some laundry. And so by doing that quietly and easing into the bedroom, the cat came in behind me, and I was not quite aware of that until I heard a little noise a bit later. And I went over to the door and eased it open to let her out because she was sleeping. I didn't want to awaken her. So I wait, and she doesn't want to come out, so I'm assuming she's sleeping there, in the room, which they'll do sometimes when they go in there. And then time got away from me. Things happened. I was watching something, couple of videos and playing some etc. on the computer, and suddenly I realized, wow, the cat's been in the bedroom quite a long time. And so as I headed in there to let her out, I was met at the door basically with Shell saying, hey, the cat apparently has made a little mess in the bedroom. Because I smell it. I'm like, oh, fun. And I, my fault all the way around. But when we returned to the room to go to bed, we realized that she had actually done that on the comforter itself. So that began the whole stripping of the bed, trying to make sure it's not going to the sheets or to the bed itself. And it had gotten down to the sheets, but not to the bed, thank goodness. So that's what I did all morning yesterday, as she's here announcing her presence, is de-stink and wash numerous times some heavy bed clothing, which required me going down to the laundromat here, which is really close to my house, for the big supersized washers and dryers there. As I had made my mind up to do that, Michelle had made her mind up to go ahead and get up.
You just somehow muted automatically.
That would be the cat.
Oh.
Yeah, that would be the cat.
Automatically, right? Big surprise.
But yeah, the cat, phone went off telling Michelle that her sister had gotten a call from her mother and she wasn't feeling great. And by the time her sister got there, she couldn't get out of the chair and was feeling really bad. So they called the ambulance. And so Shell had to take off at 5 in the morning and go to Lafayette while I'm basically going, what do I do with these sheets that are going to, these bed stuff that's going to, be basically ruined for life if I don't get this smell off of them now. So I loaded up vinegar and various other smellities and went down the road and loaded all that into the machines and then brought the vehicle back to Michelle and let her take off. And then I walked back and forth to the washer and dryer and the washer and the dryer and got them finally straight. Back to the house a few hours later and got myself to bed, I guess around 10 a.m. yesterday finally. So that meant I didn't get up till late yesterday afternoon. So I'm still up. I'm going on yesterday's sleep. But it's, like I said, all my own fault. Not paying attention to the time the cat was in the bedroom. And she was upset. I could tell she knew she had done wrong. And because she was acting very weird after all that. And she's my sweetie. So she had to apologize. Now she's trying to get in my lap. But anyway, that was my day yesterday. Told you it wasn't that exciting.
Well, because I was sore on Wednesday and didn't get home until later. I didn't get to talk to you fellas at all, but I did get home yesterday at a reasonable hour and decided to hop on, and yeah, we was rocking it out. Me, Zach, and Nemo. It was kicking ass and not even bothering to take names.
Nice.
Yeah, we won a couple yesterday.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 at least.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in yesterday. I was feeling better about myself. Weird, man. The last couple weeks, I've noticed I've been like slowing down. Maybe, I don't know.
Hibernation
maybe I motion back or something. Yeah, it was weird. It was just like my body's telling my hands right there. What are you doing? The idiot right there. Just aim and shoot. What are you doing? And it's my hands aren't doing what my brain is telling them to do as quickly as they used to do it. I was talking to my mom about this. She's like, well, yeah, you're old. Get used to it. I love my mom. I love the way she puts things. Like when I was young, she didn't sugarcoat, everything. I mean, she was a mom. She sugarcoated a lot of stuff, helped the medicine go down. But when I said things like, that's not fair, she would get this grin on her face. Life's not fair. Get used to it. That was her response. And it's true.
It is true. And you know what's most not fair about life are the things that are fair about life and the things that aren't fair.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure in the long run, I'm going to end up getting screwed on this insurance deal. One way or the other, because that's just my lot in life. I've come to the conclusion. But is it fair? I don't know. For somebody, it's all a matter of perspective. Which is probably what's going to be put on my tombstone.
It's all a matter of perspective.
It's all a matter of perspective.
That's a good. Gosh, on my tombstone, I don't plan on having one if things work out my way, but I want to calcify. I want to turn to stone. There was that guy in Korea. He was like a monk. And he said, okay, I'm getting ready to die. Put me in this tomb and open it back up in 50 years, I think he said, or 20 years or something like that.
About 45 minutes.
When they opened it back up, he had barely decomposed and he had started calcifying, supposedly. That's what the story says. That he had figured out a way to start the calcification process, or something like that.
That's what I'm going to tell people too. What are you doing in your car, Josh? Getting calcified.
I'm calcifying.
Getting calcified.
Yeah.
Just turn into stone. You know.
Not stoned. Stone.
Calcified.
So, did everybody get to watch and get all excited about the Artemis?
That is some
There
of
was
the
one.
greatest pictures. Some of the greatest pictures. I think it's absolutely amazing. I mean, I get it. And I can understand it's all a matter of perspective as to how it is that when you're trying to reach escape velocity, you're going to want to go further around the Earth and then maybe slingshot around to get back to the moon. But to see that actual angle, the arch as it goes out and arches, and the moon is up there in the sky, you know, well past the arch, and the rocket has now nose down past the moon, and the moon's still up in the sky, and they're like, we're going to the moon, and the moon's way back here. And it was just kind of some amazing, amazing pictures from that Artemis launch. I wish I had it in me to bring it up.
I thought it was hilarious that, what was it, like 2 days before? The hurricane, well, not even a hurricane, it was a tropical storm when it hit land, ripped off like a 3-meter sheet of the Orion space capsule.
You didn't even give us a preempt here, Zach. You could have at least warned us. Here comes the story of the hurricane. Then you can proceed.
Yeah, but so 100-mile-an-hour winds ripped the Orion spacecraft apart. Now, what kind of winds is it going to be going through? I mean, it's doing 17,000 miles an hour, right?
Right, there you go. Here's a great story for escape velocity. And re-entry, mind you. But they probably don't need it that much for re-entry. If you can manage to hold on to it through achieving escape velocity. And the perils of, space.
I mean, it definitely looks better than the homeless tweaker shelter. I'll give them that. But it sounds like they built it the same way. They like stuck it together with Legos and shit. I mean, 100-mile-an-hour wind should not be ripping anything off of something that's designed to go into space, to be put through that kind of torque and, the G's and all that kind of stuff. 100-mile-an-hour wind should not have hurt that structure.
Maybe they misread. Maybe it was really thin. Like, my father-in-law sometimes builds the balsa wood and paper planes, and you can reconstruct it. Maybe Orion was really the R actually went all the way down to the line, and it was just made out of like onion paper. Only thing I can think.
It was bad. I mean, it looks pretty, but it's obviously my truck.
You do love your truck.
From 1997 could have handled that wind. This is $1 billion spacecraft. Billions of dollars put into building this. And they have caulk that can be ripped off by wind from storm.
Elon Musk's Tesla Roadster could survive 100-mile-an-hour wind.
It would have been safer just to go up in the Roadster. It's horrible. We're really up to break quicker. Are we going to be doing break today?
Oh, wow.
Yes, we are. We are almost up to
breaking.
break. Damn. How did we manage that?
Must be time for Kratom.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed the first half of the first half here on Ironworks.
You know, I did.
Like 90 seconds. I don't know.
Something like that.
Something like that. We got about 30-ish, I think, before we hear music. But I think we will get to some space lettuce. Big shout out to that fat fellow.
Right.
And for that Iron Mike Tyson drop you all heard this morning.
Among many others.
Among
I'm still
many
digging for. Sadly.
Sadly. There's got to be a way for me to find them. I know I've got them here somewhere.
Yeah, I know. I keep thinking if there's a search I'll do that'll make it happen. And that didn't do it. I go through just a certain folder of my computer rather than the whole computer. That doesn't do it. I do just the hard drive alone. That does just the folder in the hard drive. Just my profile of the folder in the hard drive. Yeah, no.
I'm just looking at this dead computer. I'm like, oh yeah, no. I know where they are. I just can't get to them. But there's that break music of which we were speaking. Stick around. We've got the second half of the first half of the Ironworks coming up just on the other side of this quick commercial break. Stick around. We love you. We'll be right back.
You're never, ever, ever, ever going to feel like doing the things you need to do in order to have what you want. You're always going to need to push yourself. You're always going to need to parent yourself. So what is the net advice on this? What is the bottom line? The bottom line is no one's coming. No one. No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to tell you to turn the TV off. No one's coming to tell you to get out the door and exercise. Nobody's coming to tell you to apply for that job that you've always dreamt about. Nobody's coming to write the business plan for you. It's up to you. And because you're only ever going to do the things that you feel like doing right now, or that feel good right now, unless you understand that you've got to parent yourself, you've got to push yourself, you're not going to make your dreams come true. You're just not.
Discover the extraordinary powers of intuitive healing with pain transmutation, a method of holistic healing for the human soul, body, mind, and emotions. If you are looking for answers and a deep understanding of how to help yourself and the people around you to live a happier, healthier life, this is the right place for you. Learn how to read your soul's history in the Akashic Records. Remove negative energy attachments from your astral body and start the process of inner and outer pain transmutation. Join Pain Transmutation Community to get started on the path of intuitive healing. Change your energetic state. Manifest new and exciting experiences. Re-energize your life and build inspiring connections with others in our community.
If there's something you want to achieve, you can achieve any freaking thing you want as long as you know what the goal is. That's why goal posters or goal boards or even just telling someone what your goals are, writing them down is so important, because once you can identify your goal, it makes it so much easier to work towards it. And that's something that I think our children are not being taught in the school system right now, is how to set a proper goal. It's like, hey, what do you want to achieve? Well, the teacher gave me these things I want to achieve. Okay, well, what's that going to do for you? Well, I don't know. The teacher said I had to do it. Okay, that's great, but it doesn't teach them the logical thought process or the creative thinking process to develop a goal and then reverse engineer what they need to do to accomplish that goal. And we need more of that true goal setting in our society. Otherwise, we just have a bunch of sheep who have no idea what they're doing. They're just bumbling around. Don't be a sheep, be a goat. They're more creative and adventurous anyways. Be an ornery goat.
You are now tuned into the truth frequency.
Your protection from deception. TFR.
Truth Frequency Radio.
Yeah, that was the only one I really had. Walter was about as good as I had this morning. I mean, there's other stuff, but honestly, I think I might be coming down with a little bit of the flu just to hear myself talk. Like that real low grade fever. You're just like, I'm not like feverish, but almost. This is going to be an interesting day at work. It's the joy of not having my own vehiculars.
Hello.
Hello, Mike check.
Yeah, no, seriously. When the cat jumped, she pulled the whole Focusrite off the table, and I'm just concerned because I wasn't hearing you or anybody for a minute. Anyway, apparently it's okay.
What did you just say, Zach?
I said I hear both of you.
I could see I was green, but I couldn't hear you guys at all. There is a problem. I found what it is. I don't know how to fix it, but as long as I can hear for now, that'll get me through the show. That's all we need.
Big shout out to Chris Gio for getting TFR back up and running.
Nice.
This according to Liz the Iron Maiden.
Nice.
I have not yet been there in chat, though I am.
So I found an article
with go ahead, sir.
It just makes no sense.
What?
Have you ever heard of? Okay, I'm just going to read the headline. Taylor Swift ticket fiasco. Taylor Swift, she's a singer, I guess, right? Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
Leave me alone. Yeah.
I don't know. You lost me at Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Ticketmaster cancels public sale of the Eras Tour due to high demand. So they've canceled the public sale of her Eras Tour after high demand in the pre-sales. Then it goes on to say that the tour has been canceled. So because of high demand and they couldn't meet the ticket quota, they canceled the tour? Have you ever heard of anything like that ever happening?
Okay, wait. Okay, so we're selling tickets, but we're not selling enough, and we're canceling the tour? Or we're selling tickets and we think there's going to be too much demand for these tickets, so we're canceling the tour? I'm still confused by what you're telling us because neither fucking one makes sense.
No, the second one. Due to an extraordinarily high, this is Ticketmaster's tweet. Due to extraordinarily high demands on ticketing systems and insufficient remaining ticket inventory to meet that demand, tomorrow's public on sale for Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour, has been canceled. Maybe it's just canceling that day of ticket sales.
Yeah, that's most likely.
But it said that, yeah. It says the Eras Tour has been canceled. I don't know. That's some horrible writing there.
Yeah, the public sale of tickets of the Eras Tour has been canceled. And I guess if you can take out the Eras Tour has been canceled, then you could say, well, that's why I wrote it. But even still, if you're going to say, ooh, sorry, public, we're going to hold off on selling you the rest of these. We just don't have enough left. And that means we can get a really high price if we go ahead and sell these privately. So fuck off.
It is 2022. How does Ticketmaster not have electronic tickets? I mean, I didn't have a ticket for the Fortnite thing. It was all on my phone. I pulled up a thing and I said, yep, yeah, you bought a ticket. I mean, really? I don't understand this. This is dumb. Even for a day, I don't get it. What do you mean you don't have enough tickets? It's numbers in a computer system. This just sounds like blah, blah, blah. Taylor Swift.
Uh-huh. There you go. There you go. What we need to do is figure out a way to get Taylor's name in the news so that we can drive up some of these private sale numbers.
Yeah, let's just tell the public that so many people want them that we're closing for today, but they can come buy them next week. I don't know. I don't get it. It's dumb.
How do you panic a herd of brain dead sheep? Tell them one of their singers they're not going to be able to go see. Sorry. Not you.
Well, there's all kinds of people. Yeah, general ticket sales for, oh my goodness, why are you showing me this? So, did you guys see all that snow that got dumped up north? I hope Nemo's all right.
I have not.
Yeah, they said the lake effect snow season has started on the Great Lakes.
Bum, bum, bum. Jeez, I've got a whole soundboard for this stuff. I don't know why I'm making noises with my damn mouth.
From Michigan to New York, they got blasted with what they call lake effect snow.
Well, that's close. Not what I had in mind.
Go ahead. Lake effect snow. I don't miss that at all. And if those of you who aren't aware of what lake effect snow is, take your regular snow and multiply it by like 10. It's not
because of the lake
affecting it. They're light, fluffy snow. It's not like that kind of snow that falls. It's real heavy and wet, and yeah, because it's just
pulling moisture from the lake up into the storm clouds, creating the snow and then dropping it right back down.
Right back down. It doesn't stay up there very long. But yeah, it's because the lake spent all summer warming up, right? And now the air is getting real cold. Well, it takes a lot longer for water to lose that heat. So right now, all that water is just evaporating. That warmer water is evaporating up into the cold air and creating, it's going to dump probably through February. I don't miss that at all. Not at all. That was the worst part about living up there was lake effect snow. I mean, it makes beautiful snow. Everything is covered. The trees are all really, that's when you look out at the trees and they're all covered and they're all kind of hanging down because the snow is so heavy. I mean, it is. It's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. But it's cold and miserable. Fun for taking pictures. That's about it. Nah, you can go skiing and snowing and so I know people. I'm not happy with snow anymore. I've done my snow.
One of my favorite kinds of quiet is a good heavy snow quiet.
Yeah. Those are nice quiets. But yeah, my body just doesn't like snow anymore. I was talking to an older gentleman in line at the grocery store the other day. So where are you from? Northern Indiana. He's like, oh man, I remember, I think he spent a year or two up there, up in Michigan, southern Michigan. And he said he couldn't believe the snow. So you didn't know that much came down all at once. Like that. Yeah, it's different. It's if you've never lived in the north, it's different. I don't think we're supposed to live that far from the equator. Who was I talking about this with? Was it you, Josh?
It seems like it. I know. I know we've had this conversation. I could have sworn it had been on air, but maybe not.
I mean, think of us as like an animal. You know, we're not meant to travel too far from the equator, and if we are, we would migrate back in the winter.
We're just meant to be drummers for the Muppets.
Yeah, humans. I mean, we can't walk around. I can't go outside naked right now. It's 27 degrees. I'd die.
Right. One of the first things I learned about the area where my brother and his family are living in Oregon. Hang on one second. Sorry. There's a little like park a few blocks away, and in the park, walking trail, stuff to play on, and as you go through the park and the walking trail, there's little signage that gives you the history of the area. Willamette Valley there was known to the Native Americans in the area as the Valley of Death, which they would vacate at the first sign of winter and get the fuck out of there because it's cold as hell and shit freezes and people die. And it's like, hey, maybe we shouldn't be living here where it's so cold people are dying. I don't know. And so they leave and they call it the Valley of Death. And yeah, that makes a lot of sense to stay away from the extreme cold. But interesting that the area we call the border of our world is extremely cold.
I think that's there to keep us out.
Yeah, I think.
I was also thinking, what's the last line of defense? Nature's last line of defense at the north. What do you think it is? What's the one thing up there that if you're smart, you're going to turn and go the other way if you see one of these things? It's an animal.
Yeah, the polar bear.
Penguin, not a polar bear. Not, oh, in the north, you mean?
Yeah.
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 Polar bears eat nothing but meat. So a polar bear sees you, you are food to that polar bear.
Throw a Coca-Cola and run. No, for real. What you need to do is you cut a hole in the ice and you take canned peas, preferably, because who the fuck wants frozen in the north? So you take canned peas and you put the peas around the hole. That way, when the bear comes to take a pee, you just kick him in the ice hole.
Yeah, those polar bears, man, they're something different. Yeah, there is nothing green up there where they live for them to eat. Really, there's not a whole lot of plant life. So they're not like a brown bear or black bears that, you know, they'll eat berries and grass and herbs and stuff like that. Polar bears don't have that. They see meat and they're going to go try and get it. Now, what would be easier to catch? Some stupid human standing on the ice or one of those seals that are super fast in the water and, you know? No, it's going to go after the human. I watched a video. This guy was in like this cage, this glass cage, and this polar bear is sitting here ripping at the thing, trying to get into this cage at this guy. And it was all steel and everything. You know, he was safe. It was built for stuff like that.
Safe-ish.
Ish, yeah. But still, this big giant bear is just both paws on this thing, trying to pry away to get into this guy. No way.
Conversely, trying to remember where we were. Oh, it was to see Queensryche in Houston. My family were here. Paul and his wife were here visiting, and while we were here, found out our favorite band, was going to be in Houston, so we went to see them. And while we were there, we went to the Aquarium of the Americas, I think they call it there. And it was nice, really big, and a walkway. You could go through this weird tunnel of water. Kind of gave me the weird feeling. And we got into this weird little area where we realized it was like a den set up for some tigers, some white tigers. And as my brother approached the huge glass that's separating us from these two huge tigers, as we approach it, they start playing with Paul through the fucking glass, getting up on their hind legs, getting down and like looking at him, running like a cat, like a fucking house cat in your house would do, playing with you with whatever little toy you had. It was I'm getting chills telling you about it right now. It was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen, ever, like period. And it spoke to, on that same trip, at least 2 different times we stopped to eat at restaurants, and perfect strangers, older couples, you name it. We just walk by and stop and just strike up a conversation with Paul or Carrie, because they're just that kind of energy that they give off. The cat definitely picked up on it. They definitely did. It was it was, of course, before the cell phone days and no footage or anything, just great memories of it. Amazing. And the size of these paws as they would get up on that glass, and you see that glass start shaking, and you think, this might not go well. Because it's just glass. Oh, it's safe. It's blah, blah, blah. It's fucking glass.
Yeah, I guess people were freaking out because I think it was over in Indonesia, maybe. They had a zoo, and there was this thing in the lion's den part where you could actually walk into this glass box and like be in the lion's den, but surrounded by this glass. And dude, when people they already closed it because the lions were freaking out. When they would see somebody they didn't know in their habitat, they were like running at the thing and like throwing their bodies at it, like almost hurting themselves trying to get to these people. Yeah, people were not happy about it. But I don't know. I don't want to be that close to those big animals. Not unless they want me there, you know? I mean, and even if they do want you there, it's a wild animal. Look at that guy who hung out with those grizzly bears for years. Yeah, they ate him. They ended up eating him. You know, he pissed off the wrong bear one day and it said, hey, you're food now. And he sat there with them for years, getting up close to them, rubbing their ears, you know, building that repertoire, that relationship. All it takes is it's a wild animal, folks. One bad day, one bad second, really, when you're dealing with brown bears. They just got to have 5 seconds of, yeah, I don't want you around right now. And you're not going to be around much longer after they don't want you around, especially when you're sitting 2 feet away from them. I love how people, oh, look at what are those black and white bears? The
panda bears.
Pandas?
Bears. Oh, they're so sweet. They rip people's faces off. Panda bears are not sweet and cuddly and nice. This whole teddy bear thing that Roosevelt did, it's not some sweet, innocent animal. It's a meat-eating predator. Not to say that bears can't be nice and sweet and all that kind of stuff and, you know, even help out other animals. You see some crazy videos, animals helping out other animals and this and that. But yeah, when the bear's hungry, you don't want to be around and be the slowest thing around. That's just the facts. And I don't know why I'm not more scared of bears and, you know, mountain lions and big cats and stuff, but I'll go walk around a national forest all day long. No problem. Me and my 9, and I'm okay. But I was talking to this about Cam yesterday because we were watching videos where bull sharks were found in the Great Lakes. Bull sharks. The shark with the most testosterone pumping through its system. It's just like ready to go all the time. Eat, 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 swim, 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 eat, 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 poop. Eat, 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 swim, 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 eat, 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 poop. That's all they do. And I jumped into Lake Michigan when we were like, 13 miles out off the coast, 60 feet water. Maybe I wasn't crazy when the voice in my head said, "Get out of here. You are a worm on a hook right here." Yeah, bull sharks in the Great Lakes. We don't know what's there. We don't even know what's in the Great Lakes. I mean, I think Michigan only gets like 390 feet deep at its deepest, but like Lake Superior, that thing is deep. That thing is real deep, like deeper than people dive deep. We don't know what's down there, even in our lakes, let alone the ocean. Just the lakes, we don't know. Yeah.
So here in Missouri, it's November. I think bow season for the white-tailed deer just finished up, and I think we're hitting into the firearm season for deer hunting. I think I was maybe 11 or 12, I'd say, when I took my first deer.
Did you cry?
At some point, buck fever is a real thing. That rush of adrenaline right before you kill something. But like deer hunters refer to it as buck fever because, it's typically what you get because you see the buck, you get excited, and you have that adrenaline blast. But there was definitely some mourning that took place. My point is, it was just like literally 100 yards from from the United States' deadliest lake. So you can go on about your lake effect snow and how deep your lakes are and how big your lakes are, but right here in Missouri is the United States' deadliest lake.
Why so? What happens there?
Oh, well, there's a little... See, it's a big man-made lake, essentially. But there's a place called Party. You ever see that show Ozark? So it's Lake of the Ozarks, right? They
Right.
built the
Absolutely.
dam, and they've got a little place called Party Cove. Apparently, there's a pretty large population, large percentage of the people on the lake of Lake of the Ozarks happen to be intoxicated and operating machinery. So I think there's a lot of drownings and boating accidents and things like that, and alcohol involved that make Lake of the Ozarks America's deadliest lake.
So it's the lake where the most stupid people hang out, is what you're saying.
Well, look, you said it, not me.
No, it is beautiful there. Lake of the Ozarks. Oh my goodness. That's a gorgeous part of the country. But no, I've been on one of these lakes. Oh, what was the name of it? It's right on the Wisconsin-Illinois border. And it's like 5 or 6 lakes all connected, really big. And everybody gets around by motorboat. And there's bars on barges out in the middle of the lake. And yeah, they have a lot of accidents there, stuff like that. So yeah, you get humans and alcohol and water involved, and yeah, someone might have a bad time.
The old barge bar.
The name of it.
Up north, Burr Barge Bar.
Girls' pants hanging all over the ceiling. That was the thing of that bar. We went when it was like dead. There was nobody there.
I mean, if you're throwing them and they stick to the ceiling, get the fuck out. I mean, leave the girl, leave the restaurant, get the fuck out.
Don't touch anything on your way out. Man, what was the name of that bar? I forget. It had one of those clever names.
Remember those little rubber octopuses you get in the honeycomb box? You throw them against the wall, they just kind of walk down the wall.
Ew, that's gross. Now Google is not, it's not showing me any more articles.
Well, congratulations, Zach. You've read them all. You read the internet.
You won the internet.
Dude, give me 3 articles at a time. You hear Elon gave his employees an ultimatum?
Oh, that always goes well.
Didn't hear that.
We can get back to that right after this break. We are.
Yes, we are. Breaking it up right now.
Elon is laying down the law at Twitter.
I mean, come on, guys. Anyway, stick around. Damn, that whole second half of the first half flew by, too. We've got more. I mean, you know, first half of the second half. Coming right up. We'll be right back.
This is iHeartRadio. iHeartRadio. iHeartRadio makes you want to move. When you have a great melody, a song lasts forever.
Instantly connected.
I love it when the beat goes.
Did you know you can listen to Truth Frequency Radio on iHeartRadio? Just download the app to your smart car, smartphone, or smart TV and get the best of TFR wherever you are.
iHeartRadio.
I'll see you there.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
We can't allow bad things to happen to our country, and bad things are happening to us. Perhaps like never before. You'll be seeing what goes on, and perhaps like never before.
We are looked upon as not very smart. We are looked upon as not very smart.
Shit, we failed. Shit, we failed.
They may allow me back. They may allow me back. So I walked gingerly. That rip was long and steep. I said, General, I might have to grab you by the pussy. They made that a big story, but they didn't make a biting fall. The triple fall, the triple fall. I wasn't gonna fall. Dr. Fauci, who I actually got along with, he's a great promoter. Not a great doctor, but he's a hell of a promoter. Fauci said powerfully at the beginning, no masks. Then he went into masks, and then he became a radical master. Look at the world. Look at what happened to the world. And look at the world. It's not just us. It's the world. We are looked upon as not very smart. We are looked upon as not very smart.
Shit, we failed. Shit, we failed.
They may allow me back. They may allow me back.
Zuckerberg walked into the office, proud of filmers, people. Congratulations, sir. You're number one on Facebook. The day I was out, he became rather, well, I guess it's human nature. To let our country be run by that kind of human nature.
They may edit that out. They don't want to have that. They don't like that.
They may have to edit that out. The Biden administration seems to be putting America last. There's nobody like us. Nobody has the people that we have. Nobody has the genius that we have. Look at the world. Look at what happened to the world. If you look at the world, it's not just us. It's the world.
We are looked upon as not very smart. We are looked upon as not very smart. Shit, we fail. Shit, we fail. They may allow me back. They may allow me back.
You are now tuned into the truth frequency.
We are TFR. TFR.
Truth Frequency Radio.
Good morning. I'm here. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up.
Wake up!
Wake up! What is dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Okay, dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe the dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there. There was one? There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard.
Need input.
And welcome back to the Ironworx right here, Truth Frequency Radio, TFR Live. There's a chance you might even be able to head on over to YouTube and find us there. If you're on Rockfin, feel free to head over there and check us out as well. Or if you're on D-Live, hell, if you're on Facebook, check out the Iron Raw Media Facebook page. We're probably live over there. Or if you're a Twitter, you can find us on live on Twitter, but that's about it. If you're looking to drag old Iron Raw Media into a online debate and argument on Twitter, you're going to have to get a time machine. You can go back in time about 4 or 5 years for that to happen.
Yeah. Kind of moved away from those days. It was fun. It had its moments. Met a lot of you crazy people there.
I'm going with the Barack Obama defense. We don't have time to have a meeting with the Globe Earth Society. Just don't have time to argue with these people anymore.
So Nick,
you
I'm sorry.
That's it.
Nick, who kept word in chat. What's up, Nick? Asking, hey, chaps, what are your thoughts on the southern stars being a mirror of the northern stars? Didn't we just talk about that on the show, like, recently? Or maybe I watched someone else talk about it on another show. I have been digging around.
That does not sound familiar to me.
Then it must have been somewhere else I watched it.
Yeah, I know Adam Carter had this idea years ago, probably 2016-ish. And he went through the planisphere and really mapped everything out. And his conclusion was no. Now, I've never tried it myself. There could be other factors involved. We don't know where the middle line could be, actually. I mean, does it have to be right over the equator? Could it be, at 45 degrees south? We don't. So I don't know. I don't see it yet. But I haven't seen anything definitive that says, oh, yeah, look, that lines up with that, and that lines up with that there, and that there, and that there. I haven't seen that yet. So, I mean, I'm always open to possibilities. But for me, no, not yet.
Well, what we were talking about, as I recall, was Orion's belt. Wasn't it Orion? And Orion's belt was supposed to be that equatorial divide, as I recall. What if it's more like taking off a Tylenol lid? Maybe it's not a direct lineup, but if you can like spin that along that equatorial divide and turn it until it lines up to be a mirror, but then that difference from what we see to how you have to turn it to get it to mirror perfectly is going to be like a declination of sorts. You know what I mean? Because there's going to be something that's affecting what we're seeing up there. So if we can figure out what that difference is that would make it line up, I think that particular number is going to point to something very specific. Yeah, or I'm talking out of my ass and none of this works, and you'll never be able to do it because it just doesn't happen. Either way, welcome to the Ironworx.
Yeah, I'd love.
What if it's that thing like where you have to take mirrors and take two mirrors and angle them a certain way to get your true reflection? What if it's not that, but something similar to that idea? The reason we can't see it is because between angles and where we are on the plane versus what we're looking up at, into, whatever, angling and light, and yeah, that idea of reversed somewhere in that split too. I don't know, just talking craziness, more thinking out loud than anything else.
Yeah, and this is one of those things that, really needs to be studied and looked into after everybody gets awake. There's so many things that aren't going to happen for a while.
I mean, how about the Great Rift? Wouldn't that be mirrored as well somewhere? I mean, there's all sorts of things in the sky I can see that aren't being mirrored.
But just because we don't see that mirroring doesn't mean it's not occurring somewhere beyond our view.
Well, that's true.
I don't see what is representative of the Southern Cross in my sky, but other people say they do, including people I knew and trusted. So not it physically there, but the place it will be there, whatever. Rob, that's what I'm talking about. So, yeah, that idea of seeing it even would be almost impossible because of our vision and the size and all that. And then relying on Stellarium or whatever that program is again going back to their tools and what they've done to those tools to make it look like their little spinny space egg, I guess now is what I saw in chat earlier. I don't know, just...
Yeah, Brian, BCB says the reflections night might not be as bright, which would make some stars not viewable. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's an interesting thought, but until I see something mapped out, because I mean, AJC, he was doing it with planispheres, which are based on a flat plane and based on a flat sky as well. And yeah, he couldn't line them up. He did notice that there's never been a picture with all 4 stars of Sigma Octantis. Not the Southern Cross, but actual Sigma Octantis. There's a group of stars there, and you can, if you have a good enough telescope or camera, you can zoom in on them. But he said he's never seen a picture with all 4 of those stars. On the flat Earth map, those stars are like spread out. It was weird what he was showing me. Yeah.
Wow. Even as I was trying to reach back in my mind to someone else that seemed to have talked about this in the past, Nick typed Aaron Dover there in chat, and that would be him. Yep. Exactly, sir. Yep.
He passed away, didn't he?
So we were told. Unfortunately, I never got to know him personally or well enough to know that is a true statement or not. But that is what I got.
That was early on.
That was early on. Yes, it was.
So weird being at this for so long. It's just seeing so many new people come into it. I love the energy, and their minds are racing and they're having all these ideas. But at the same time, they're like, oh, we should do this, we should do that, we should talk about this, we should talk about that. It's like, yeah, we've done that. Yeah, we've done that. Yeah, we've done. Not to say that there's not new things to talk about out there. There's always something new.
But you can never describe the excitement of Stars Are Souls up there at the lighthouse, camera in hand. Where's the curve? Where's the curvature? Where's the curve? Just blowing his mind. It's like, all right, look, where's the curve? And just trying to get people around him. Where's the curve?
And that's just it. Most people don't realize that there should be one. I was never taught the math for the Earth curvature. I was told that shadows and this and that, that's what we did. Even in it was high school. We were in the high school parking lot measuring shadows to tell us the distance to the sun. Or to measure the sphericity of, just nonsense. When all they had to do is say, the Earth curves 66 feet in just 10 miles. Where? Everybody would be like, where? It curves that much? I remember when I was 9 years old, going on my first plane ride that we were going down to Florida. I'm going to see the curve of the Earth finally. I got up there, I was like, Dad, it looks pretty flat. Oh, it's just so big you can't see the curve. The Earth is huge. Yeah, it appears that way, but according to the math, it shouldn't appear that way.
I'd like to buy a vowel.
It's just...
Well, let's not forget that sphere should be descending away from you as you go up. Not staying at eye level. You can't trick AutoCAD. Sorry.
You need to ask the children for the answers. Jaron's got it right. He's asking Maverick every day, what's the moon? What is the moon? Maverick, what's the moon? They know better than we do, I bet. They haven't been brainwashed for, decades. And even though that we're aware of the brainwashing, it's still there. I still, 8 years into this, still find myself thinking in a heliocentric point of view about certain things. It just happens. It's been, planted in my brain very deeply.
The noise wasn't quite as bad, and we went right on up, and I saw darkness. I thought I was going to see the world, but we weren't quite high enough.
Every time you play that and she says, and the noise wasn't quite as bad as what? As their fake test they did before. No, I'm serious. What is she comparing the noise to that it wasn't quite as loud as before? I mean, that's been in my mind. Play it again.
See, they had Blue Origin people. They had 3 of them on the outside shaking the simulator. And they had 2 more banging on pots and pans. Clang, 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 clang.
You get a lever, you get a board, and a little block of wood.
That's for SpaceX. No. That's you use fulcrum and physics. That's for the SpaceX geniuses over there. These motherfuckers are just shaking it, rocking it back and forth. All right, let me see. Where'd it go?
The noise wasn't quite as bad, and we went right on up,
wasn't
and I saw
quite as
darkness.
bad as
I
what?
thought I was going to see
As
the
what?
world, but we weren't quite high enough.
Is what I was told. Wasn't as much curvature there as what I was told. I'm starting to wonder if the whole flight itself is what I was told.
Has she been interviewed after this?
My mouth tastes like copper. What's going on?
I'm smelling toast.
That's space. You weren't high enough to see the curve, but you were high enough to smell burnt toast. Congratulations. Speaking of Gus Grissom, I just happened to sometimes if I hover my mouse over my taskbar on my computer, down where the weather is, the little window will pop up with a bunch of news stories. And I just happened to catch a glimpse of this. I'm thought, ooh, I have to check this out. So I grabbed it and threw it into the space lettuce pile.
Okay.
Of which is ever growing. So
yeah, it is.
The original truther, folks. Gus Grissom.
I thought I had all this stuff pulled up, but it doesn't seem to be. Really?
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe this. Sorry. I really thought I had all this done.
It's all right, Josh.
Here we go. We'll just fade that in right here. I thought this was interesting. From grunge.com. Disturbing details found in Gus Grissom's autopsy report. First of all, I wonder who is just now reading Gus Grissom's autopsy report. Well, I'm sure it didn't just come out, but somebody's just now deciding to request it. And I'm just curious.
First person?
Huh?
Is this the first person to request it?
I don't know. Gus Grissom was the second astronaut from the United States to travel to space. He was born Virgil Ivan Grissom in 1925, and he was an average student in high school who didn't have particular goals in mind when it came to his career. As noted by NASA history, Grissom was excellent in math, but had average marks in other subjects. His principal described him as a student who studied just about enough to get a diploma. The onset of World War II gave the young man some perspective. He enlisted as a cadet in the Air Force, but never got the chance to go on missions as the war ended before he received his training. After Grissom was discharged from the Air Force in 1945, he enrolled in Purdue University to study the mechanical engineering. He took classes during day and night and went to work at local diner to help support himself and his wife, Betty, who he married in 1944. Grissom earned his degree in 1950. Okay, and decided to return to the Air Force. It took about 4 years going to school day and night. He decided to return to the Air Force to fulfill his dreams of flying. In 1951, he was sent to combat missions in the Korean War. He completed 100 missions 6 months later and returned to the U.S. with a Distinguished Flying Cross and the Air Medal per Britannica. In the next few years, Grissom worked as a flight instructor and furthered his knowledge by attending the U.S. Air Force Institute of Technology and aeromechanics. My eyesight is going. He eventually became a test pilot to 4 jet fighters, which he said made him the happiest pilot in the Air Force. Okay. Do I really need to go through all of this?
If you're going to read this, you better wait till the next break, and then we'll do part 2 Tuesday of next week. This thing is 8.5 miles long.
Holy.
I mean, we're getting down to the Hindenburg and last photos of Tupac at this point.
Wow.
So it gets real conspiratorial, huh? Yeah, Gus Grissom, man, he was OG truther.
Now, this has just got to be stories after stories. Like, this isn't still.
No, I'm just fucking with you.
There's no fun way.
You did it too, didn't you, for a second?
Like, this is so detailed. But where's the autopsy
Where's
report?
the first break, really? Oh, I finally found the first break. I found it.
Did you find
It
it?
basically, maybe it isn't. I really can't tell where the story ends, man. So here's the Challenger thing. Okay, wait. Man.
Maybe this is it. According
Yes.
to the review board's official report, the hatches of the command module were nope. Yeah, that's still going to be Gus.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's it. That's where it ends. That's where it ends. Good. This is a bad. What is this site again? Grunge.com.
Grunge.
Yeah,
I'll say.
not a fave.
Grungy as fuck.
It's definitely grungy.
According to the review board's official report, the hatches of the command module were opened at 6:36 p.m. and there were no signs of life. Physicians inspected the bodies at the scene and would determine that resuscitation efforts would be futile. But the exact time of death couldn't be determined. Based on the autopsy and investigation of the spacecraft, it was concluded that Grissom and his two companions fell unconscious due to the gases inside the cabin and that the death occurred rapidly. Multiple factors, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, oxygen, and irritant levels caused rapid death. The lack of oxygen in the heart and brain resulted in the loss of consciousness and led to cardiac arrest. The report also noted that the space suits of all three astronauts were burnt to some degree and wouldn't have protected their bodies from a fire at that magnitude. Grissom also suffered burns over 60% of his body, and soot was found in his trachea, oral cavity, and nose. His official cause of death was noted as aphasia due to inhalation of toxic gases due to fire. Memorial services were held in honor of the three astronauts. Grissom was buried in the Arlington National Cemetery, and NASA awarded him the Congressional Space Medal of Honor posthumously.
The Space Medal of Honor. Holy shit.
Oh, shit. Can we just make something up? How about... It should be as powerful as the Medal of Honor, but like for people that have gone to space.
But like for space, right? What can we call it?
Let's just throw space in front of it.
Right. How about the Space Medal of Honor? Oh, that's fine. That'll do it. Whatever.
That'll work.
Well, he was a Freemason. He did mock the lunar lander, or maybe, share some things he wasn't supposed to share. And under penalty of death, he agreed not to do that. According to, your ritual when you join the Masonic Lodge. You hold a knife to your heart. Raise your hand with your other hand. Under penalty of death. I will not, blah, 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 all that stuff. He made his choice. I'm just saying,
Yep.
It sucks because these people make these choices while they're so young. I mean, they came after me when I was 11. I was just so lucky. But I mean, you're in the military and all that kind of stuff. And then, yeah, hey kid, come join our group. We have great parties and we play ping pong on Tuesday nights and drink beer.
YouTube was showing me ads for not local to me, but local somewhere. Some local demole organization. Where the fuck am I getting this?
Yeah, that's weird.
That's what I thought.
Yep, I'm so blessed that I had something or someone or that little voice inside me that warned me about all that stuff when it was happening. Because I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be sitting here if I would have joined. Who knows what I'd be doing? Jeez. Probably killing some guy in Venezuela right now or something. No, I'm glad that they never got a hold of my soul. Well, that'll almost bring it up to the end of this. Man, we didn't even touch on the Elon cleaning out Twitter. I guess people are leaving on their own accord now in droves because they're so terrified of having to work,
$400 per meal. So I guess
Yeah.
like Twitter was providing free lunches for all the employees, but the cost of each employee's lunch was ending up to be about $400 each.
What the fuck are they eating?
Right?
Disgusting.
We didn't even get to touch on the Space Force and their paid sushi worker caught filming nude women in the base bathroom, according to the feds. Sounds to me like this dude's just a patsy. If I were to... Sounds like somebody's putting cameras trying to catch stuff. I don't know. Maybe he's just a creeper. It's also a possibility. But yeah, we've got about 30 seconds, 45 seconds till we hit this damn third and final break.
Yeah, somehow. I'm really not sure, but we did it. Right. Man, where is it? I just saw it. Damn it.
Just asked, are we going to be doing Have No Sphere tonight?
There was one.
I don't know, Liz. I don't know.
I think
we had not planned it, but I mean, you never know what could happen. Somebody might pull something out of the vault and throw up a premiere, or I don't know. We really didn't meet up this week
because I was sore Wednesday and we missed.
Josh, I had Wednesday, and then yesterday I was out of commission, so it was pretty much really not discussed. And I assumed we would just go ahead with our hiatus until we had a discussion about it, but I don't know.
I don't know.
Sounds like we're having it now.
Sounds like we're having it now. And we might just have to continue this on the other side of the break for the fourth and final segment of the Ironworx right here. True Frequency Radio, TFR Live. Stick around. We've still got lots to come, even in that last 30 minutes, 26 minutes, whatever it is. We'll be right back.
Number 3 is activity. Activity is what you do. So our lives, first of all, are affected by what we know. Second, our lives are affected by how we feel. Third, our lives are affected by what we do. It is so important to understand this. If you want to influence and help people, here's the key. Success is a doing. You've got to actually do it. Activity is high priority in the life process to try to get maximum benefit out of what we have available. Activity. Now, here's an important question. What is your philosophy about activity? What about hard work? What about long hours? What about full days? If you're doing something, how hard should you go at it? How much time should you put in? Everybody has to develop their philosophy about activity. Let me quote you. Old Testament says, 6 days activity, 1 day rest. That's called philosophy of ratio of...
The reviews for Extendivite are amazing. Here are some from Amazon. By Christine, great for heart palpitations. By Anne, before I started using this product, every afternoon, my ankles and my hands would be swollen. That doesn't happen anymore. So if that part of their advertising is true, I have to assume that the rest of it is also. Not to mention that when I had my yearly blood test, only a few weeks after beginning to use this product, my cholesterol had dropped over 30 points. I'm going to continue to take it. By Croc, I love this product. It really works. By Brad, works great, thank you. Tell us your story. Get your Extendivite today. To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Hi, I'm Sergeant Jim Ram, retired. In early 2012, I was facing a laundry list of chronic health conditions that my physician was telling me were incurable. I knew there had to be a better way, and I learned how I could reverse every one of my ailments with science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. In just a few months, I was able to reverse high blood pressure, gastric reflux, sleep apnea, arthritis, degenerative disc disease, heart arrhythmia, AFib, and many more. And I've lost over 70 pounds and kept it off. Now I'm hosting a radio program that's dedicated to helping my listeners do the same. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, if you're sick of being used as an ATM by your doctor, then you'll want to tune into the Your DIY Health radio program here on Truth Frequency Radio every Thursday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern and 6 to 8 a.m. Pacific.
No hate, no hype, no fear. We are TFR. Your protection from deception.
And welcome back to the last segment of the Ironworx here on Truth Frequency Radio. I am not sure. I think Josh might be brushing his teeth.
I think you are correct. Or huffing a bunny, one of the two.
Huffing a bunny.
That's what I thought it might be, and that's cool. So you huff on, get me one too.
How's she doing?
Yeah, I wanted to make sure I talked about this. It would appear she has chosen her husband.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a little Dutch bunny. Dutch bunnies are interesting because their markings, colorings are a little different, but the markings are almost always identical. And so much as that they're black and white, and it sort of looks like they're wearing kind of like casual tuxedo, like just a tuxedo with no jacket, like some high-waisted dress pants. It's like black from like the stomach down to its hind legs and stuff are black. Then the front is usually white and it's got black on the head. So these little Dutch bunnies are usually, the marking's always the same. Usually sometimes it's black and white. Sometimes it's like gray and white. Sometimes it's like her new husband is, it's a steel and white. It's like black with like some tan or brown undercoating, and the black has tips of white on it. It's a really cool looking color. But right now his name is Gumdrop.
Gumdrop.
Yeah.
She does have a very regal name, so I could understand her going for the tuxedo looking.
That's what I said. She definitely chose one who at least appears well enough to be able to hold up his lordship title. Lord Pettimore is who he shall be. The Lord and Lady Pettimore. And really, we might just have to change his name to Banjo, since the one that Dixie was really excited to see how Binks would react to. Banjo, because he was a real cute little brown bunny. But she liked the idea of Binks and Banjo. Says it sounds like a comedy duo.
It does.
Or Banjo and Binks.
Or even a group, like a music group.
Well, see, because I'm sure once they get together, they'll start teaming up, then even worse on the dogs that they do already. And it seems really to be not specifically Layla, but definitely Layla inclusive, but mainly Layla. So whenever Dixie talks about Banjo and Binks, I always try to include and Layla, because I think that'd be a good inclusion for the comedy trio. The big goofy dog.
I'm glad she is settling in there. And
And I see Liz asking if we're going to have babies. No. Thank goodness, no. Everybody's been fixed, spayed and neutered. No babies. This is just purely companionship bunnies. Binks is so spoiled that giving her attention every waking hour that we're at home just isn't enough. She still needs companionship for the times that we're sleeping or at work. Because most people think that rabbits are nocturnal rodents. There are like places that will teach you in caring for your bunnies that bunnies are nocturnal rodents, which is funny because bunnies are neither rodents nor nocturnal. So take that for what it's worth.
I've never seen a bunny running around at night. I've seen them running around during the day, though.
They are most active at dawn and dusk.
Yep, usually dusk. I go for walks. The sun's always right for taking pictures, you know, right around dusk.
Yep.
Before it lowers down. And I'd go around.
Horrible if you are a hawk. It's the worst time to be able to see when you're a bird is during dawn and dusk because of the lighting.
Want it. Yeah.
And that's why it's when they're most active. That makes them crepusculars, what they call it.
Yeah, they can kind of hide in shadows and all that kind of stuff. You know, the shadows are real long and big, and I never even thought about that. You know, you don't see too many buzzards flying around way up high there early in the day or at dusk, like the evening. It's always midday.
Because that's when they can see the best. So all the little prey animals go out at dawn and dusk generally. Same with owls. It's still enough light that it's not going to, that it throws off the owl's eyesight.
Well, yeah, and it makes so much sense. You point a flashlight at something, you can see it a lot better. If there's a flashlight shining, you know, across your path and you're trying to look through it at something, it's always much more difficult to see anything that way.
Bunnies' teeth will grow forever.
So will a rat's.
Yep. Interesting thing about bunnies, though, is bunnies have 2 sets of teeth, 2 rows of teeth, unlike rats.
Wow.
And
did not know that.
Unlike rats, rabbits do not have any pads on the bottom of their feet. And it's for this reason that they are called what's known as lagomorphs, not rodents. Whoever did, what's that? Pokemon. That little yellow sumbitch that used to follow around the trainer that would shock the shit out of things. Pikachu. So there are
Walter.
Like rabbits and hares are lagomorphs. And this other animal called a pika is also a lagomorph. And I'm 99%, well, maybe not quite that high. I'd say 90% sure that whoever created Pokemon's Pikachu came up with Pikachu based on this lagomorph called a pika. Just sort of by the way that the pika looks and the way a Pikachu looks and, you know.
Now, what's the difference
when you hear
between a
Pikachu
rabbit
say? Usually it's the size of feet. See, I have even said on air that they had crossbred, like, what was it, some hares with chinchillas or some shit that was coming up with these domesticated bunnies. And apparently that was just complete nonsense. Apparently they can't crossbreed like that. Because apparently even rabbits and hares can't crossbreed. But I believe hares have larger feet. I think their skulls are shaped a little differently. I think there's a few main differences.
Like a mule and a donkey?
Kind of, I think. Only except not necessarily created through breeding in that way.
You made, right? Yeah. Huh. Interesting. I never knew. Yeah, there's a lot to owning or caring for, I should say, a bunny.
For being a bunny parent? Yeah, there really is. That's a lot more than I would have assumed. I think I just saw that in chat. Yeah, Liz saying, who'd have thought Josh would be a bunny expert? And I'm no expert. I'm just gleaning bits of information from the bunny expert, my wife. She's the expert. I'm just, again, just trying to glean what I can from her. But it really is interesting. All the differences and things like that. Crepuscular lagomorphs.
Muscular lagomorphs. I guess something else to look into now.
Right.
Big shout out to James from Grounded Extracts too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you're looking for, some kind of all-natural herbal supplement, not for medical uses or anything like that, but just to try out some kind of new, something or other, you should check it out, groundedextracts.com. It's amazing stuff. The reviews are off the charts. Yeah, I know Bob really loves the, what is it, the True Earth?
Best Earth.
Best
Earth.
Best Earth.
Absolutely amazing stuff.
To be your best self, take some Best Earth from Grounded Extracts.
I dropped a link to the site there in the chat for everybody. I'm actually doing a little studying on the air here while I'm enjoying the show with you guys and I'm sure I'm going to murder this name or word or whatever. Shilajit. I don't know. It's some type of. It's a phytocomplex. I know that. It's found mostly in the Himalayas. Formed for centuries by gradual decomposition of certain plants by the action of microorganisms. Seems to be a potent and very safe dietary supplement, restoring the energetic balance and potentially able to prevent several diseases. Recent investigations point to an interesting medical application toward the control of cognitive disorders associated with aging and cognitive stimulation. Thus, fulvic acid, the main active principle, blocks tau aggregation, opening an avenue towards the study of Alzheimer's therapy. Interesting stuff. This is an abstract I'm reading from the NIH.gov site, who I recently just took part with them in a kratom study. So interesting. This is where it led me. Thank you for that information there, or at least pointing that way there, James.
And Zombie Snoop in chat says Sheila Jet.
There you go. I will drop that link for that abstract I was reading from.
And a big shout out. Haven't seen him in chat, but David Weiss in the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app.
I know that dude.
On the friend finder list. Then how are you going to find out where all of these other flat earthers are at? I mean, really, there could be one living 2 houses down from you and you just don't know it yet. What are you doing?
I know, right?
Everywhere now.
My sister is not even aware this thing exists, and in a roundabout way asking me about it yesterday. She's recently moved to a new house, and she's like, well, you got a lot of friends all over the world now. Do any of them hang out up here in the Northwest, or are they like carpenters and give me a good hookup with a great deal? I'm like, funny you should ask, Amanda. Let me pull up my app. So I'm going to steer her right. Don't you guys worry.
So there's a guy in the kitchen, right, sitting down eating a bowl of cereal, and here's the pop. There's another guy in the bathroom sitting on the toilet. Here's the same pop, and they both pull out their phones and check their phones, and they see the pop is real close. So both of them wrap up, and they were going out their front door, and they're both looking at their phones, looking at the friend finder app, only to get to the sidewalk and see they live 2 doors down. They're right next door to each other.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. And they meet right in front and turn and see that pop was the house in the middle.
Who knew you were a short storyist?
Nobody.
And we're not quite there yet, folks. Not quite there, but we're getting there. I mean, it's definitely growing around me, for sure. Now, I have had the advantage of having Oktoberfest here in the area since it started. But after each Flattoberfest, it just exploded.
I'm just confused. On a plane saying disclaimer, the app not available on Android or PC. Is there a problem right now with your app? I know a guy you can reach out to. It's about time you woke up, Big Pine Sailing. What the hell?
See what I got here. If I can get into the app.
I know he hit 80,000 plus. We finally broke that 80,000.
I even guessed when I was opening it last night. I'm like, well, it's been a minute since I checked, but if I was going to guess, I'd say at least 80,000, and it was already at like 80,600 and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my God. Really?
Yep, I'm in, and I see dots. Yeah, it's still up. 80,742 with 194 right now in the area. Now, it was up to 200 something. I don't know if people turned it off, this or that, but yeah, it's definitely growing. Wow, right outside the area too. Just to the east of me, it's getting enormous. The Charlotte area. Wow. That's just amazing. And down here in Atlanta, oh my goodness. And north of Atlanta is really taken off. Wow, I haven't looked at this in a while. Like, really looked at it. All the different dots around the country. This is amazing. Yeah, we're multiplying, folks. It's just happening. And I love hearing the dedicated flat earth trolls that have been around just as long as we have. Same names and everything. Same discussion, same argument. Oh, flat earth is dying. They're still saying that. Like, dude, you've been spinning that record for like 7 years now. And it's never slowed down. I mean, it gets a little slower than it sometimes, but it's always been growing. I took a break for a little bit, Liz, because I was out of town and Flattoberfest and all that. But I'm going to get back to it. Yeah, I need to. Exercising to the pops. I need to set it. My phone. My phone.
My phone.
If I don't swipe away after it pops, it'll pop a couple times, and then it goes into this automatic silent thing. Like if you're getting messages from a certain app or this or that, and you don't acknowledge them, then it quiets it. So yeah, I really need to start working out to the pops. And yeah, I know. I only do it for a couple hours of the day, usually early. I'll probably start today, probably about 8 o'clock. We'll see. I'll find somebody live, something going on, or research something and just sit there and, watch a video or a documentary or whatnot. And every time I hear a pop, 5 squat thrusts with a push-up in between each one. Not a lot, but you'd be amazed. Just a couple hours of doing that. You might get 30, 40 in. It depends. It could be a really good one and you get, 60 in. But yeah, it's just a good way to get some exercise and stretch, especially in the wintertime now. Because the wintertime, it's, nobody wants to go outside and do a lot of stuff when it's real freezing out. I mean, there are some people that do the outside winter activities. I used to be one of them when I was younger. But Yeah, it's a great way to, it just gives you a reason to move around a little bit, stretch those muscles, release those toxins. It's important. We got to keep moving. You don't move it, you lose it. Yeah, I'm noticing as I'm getting a little bit older that I'm starting to slow down just a little bit. I'm not.
welcome to old age.
Oh, it's weird, man. Like, I can still, I can fly up and down stairs, all that kind of stuff, but I'm just noticing little things like I'm double checking myself. Because I've noticed, the feet aren't exactly going where I'm telling them. It's not like it used to be, where it was just like automatic. Now it's like I have to think about things a little bit more and put a little more thought into it because that synapses isn't, firing as quickly as it used to. It's weird. It's just weird. Yeah, it'll be something, I'm gonna try to enjoy it. I'm gonna try to think of a way of it turning into a lesson to be learned. Maybe I'll make a magic potion that'll reverse the process.
There you go.
No, I wouldn't use my powers for that. That's not how you're supposed to do it. At least in my opinion. When I started growing my hair back and realized how real our power is, I was like, okay, I need to stop taking that. I made that out of vanity. That's sad. I'm not going to be that guy. I did it. I know it works. I know how powerful, not just me, but all of us are. I'm aware of that now. That was the lesson I took from that, is that we can do just about anything with our minds. We can, it's like the video games, like the Morrowind or the games where you're like a character in medieval times and you take a hat and you imbue it with, the ability to turn into a chameleon for 10 seconds or whatever. And they call it magic. It's not magic. We can do that. I do this with every hat I make. But I love making hats for people that I know, because then I can give them, like a special. Usually every hat I make, if I don't know the person, it's just to be able to see through lies. When you're wearing my hat, it'll be harder for people to lie to you and you not know it.
That's awesome.
I'm saying that nobody can lie to you. It's not 100% field. It's a percentage thing. And we can do this. We can imbue our intent into anything. The video games were telling me that for a long time, and I never listened. I just thought it was a video game. But yeah, Daz, exactly. We have to be humble about it. Don't use it for personal, for gain over others or for
God mode.
Yeah, exactly. Use it as to help others. Good.
We've got about 3 minutes before we hit the end of the show.
Man, how'd that happen already?
I don't know.
We didn't talk about the sushi guy or that.
I'm sorry, I'm rambling.
No, I'm messing with Josh.
Well, it'd be good to maybe go over some of that stuff today. I did see JG in chat too. I'd love to get a chance to talk to Jess at some point. I know she's been wanting to call in, and I've been wanting to talk to her, so I think that would work out well. So I don't know. It's still up in the air. I'll say. I don't know. Maybe we'll spend this week planning something for next. That might be best. Instead of trying to plan everything.
And scramble it here at the last hour, especially with my current sleep situation.
Yeah, let's do that.
So, I'm even wondering if I'll be able to get a show downloaded and up for a premiere, but I will do my damnedest. because that was fun last week. It was a blast actually hanging out and reliving the early days.
Well, for those that are
you guys were
patrons, that are producers here on the Iron Realm Media, those Patreons, I've uploaded to Patreon a video of one of the videos of Binks's date last night with her new husband to be, Gumdrop, as he is referred these days. So I will probably upload that to, let's say, the Iron Realm Media Telegram group this evening after I get home. My phone is at work after all, but I want to give some exclusivity to that post there on Patreon as well. But be on the lookout there for the Iron Realm Media Telegram group, and I will also paste it in the Iron Realm Media's Friend Finder group. Give us a search there on the different group chats, and you should find one there for Iron Realm Media. And I'll post that video in there as well this afternoon once I get back home. Thereby still allowing exclusivity for Patreon. That's a good word. I like that. Exclusivity. But thanks, gentlemen. They flew by. Seemed like it was like real slow to start, but that only lasted about 45 seconds, and then it just took off.
Yeah, once we get the crust out of the eyes, it's just kind of
right. Got the coffee hits or the kratom or whatever. Spot said bye.
Love y'all.
Love y'all.
Good week.
Love you guys.
Thank y'all.
And it looks like we're not going to be seeing you this evening. We'll still be on our hiatus. May or may not be a premiere, and we may or may not end up going live next week for not sure. Either way, we love you guys. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you back here on Tuesday morning. If nothing else, be good, be well. We love you.